Jaden second.
I hated Jaden. I hated that.
So many people do though.
I
Honestly,
hate it.
I
It's
like.
terrible.
No,
I think it
I'm
was
sorry.
alright, but maybe when
Sorry,
you gotta
dude.
watch
I
my
will
They're
say though, it's
babies.
not. It doesn't live up to DM and what comes after that. I will say, but I think it does a fine job at like what it is. I guess it could have just been placed better.
We're gonna get back to Yu-Gi-Oh after this match because
That
the
is true.
projectile wars have begun. We got bombs crashing in the arrows. We got arrows crashing in the bombs. We got grenades all over the place. Look at this! They're not even
Yeah.
approaching.
Most
Nope,
definitely
okay.
most definitely modern tech versus primitive tech.
Yeah, like this is gonna be a heavy dose of each player resetting into neutral, I feel. And you know, just how the beginning started, we're gonna see a lot of those interactions happen up until one person gets either hit or if they try to bait in a defensive option out of the other player and capitalize on that. So it's gonna go back and forth a lot in this matchup, I feel.
I do think Snake has the bigger advantage though between the two projectile warriors. I will say, while Young Link does have the close range advantage, I feel as if Snake still has a lot of heavy hitting moves up close, and that will grant him like abilities to not only kill off a close range, but off of projectiles as well, like Nikita or C4, maybe even a mortar or any of the smash attacks. So I think Snake kind of has the edge here, just barely. No, not even barely. He does have the edge in comparison. That's just me though. I don't know how.
Yeah, I feel that Snake does have.
I don't want. But it kind of wants to look that way based on how the match is going right now. Snake living at a crazy 174. Is this going to be a down throw? Oh, he's going for the read just now. I thought it was going to be the down throw up tilt. But it's looking like what you're saying is going to hold up in terms of Snake having the advantage. Because, yeah. Young Link looking like he's having a hard time. Oh, sorry. You were going to say?
Oh no, I was gonna say I was gonna agree with you saying you know like Young League was able to execute that stock off, but Snake was already at a super high percentage. It took a lot out of Young League just to take off that one stock, and Snake is just super strong, just having those bombs and C4s in place and everything. So it's gonna take a lot for Young Link to really break through that. Young Link can disrupt, you know, like certain options that Snake may pull out, but I don't think it's enough to cover the full wall on barrage of bombs, especially with that kill execution there. I mean, like you can't sleep on Nikita either. Like Snake has so much strong potential with that. So, you know, as far as the bomb play, just Snake has more control over combos and ways to kill versus Young Link, I feel.
I think he also has more consistency with bombs because I think there's a limit on how many bombs you can use as Young Link. I'm not sure, or at a time at least. Also that fire barrage is insane, I might add. But I know Snake can just whip out grenade after grenade. I'm not too sure if Young Link can even get two bombs out at the same time without throwing one down first. But even if he is, Snake does still have Nikita, Mortar, C4, a lot more explosive options to deal with for on the Young Link side, that is. And then, yeah, like Young Link's gonna have a hard time playing the range game, and he's still gonna have somewhat of a problem playing the close range game. So he has to play exceptionally well around all of Snake's advantages, really.
I agree.
That's what he's going for right now.
Oh, and oof, up air is going to do that.
Very often we see Snake taking stocks with Avail.
But Young Link is pretty light, so it's not surprising that it did kill. But another thing, Young Link, you know, he is comparison to Snake, you know, like he's very light, so Snake is gonna be able to kill him a lot faster. Versus the other way around. It doesn't help that Snake is heavy, so Young Link is gonna have a really tough time because if you notice, any stock that XLR8 did take out from AV, you know, Snake was at 120+% before Accelerate was able to secure a stock off, and on top of that, Accelerate did have to read appropriately and use the best option to take off that stock off of AV. And in comparison, I mean, that's rough. That's really hard, you know, not only to avoid those barrages of grenades and, you know, keeping in mind of where C4 is while you're trying to maneuver around yourself as a projectile character, but you also have to be careful, you know, with just your percentage overall, and try to make sure that you keep that stock as clean as possible while you're trying to go in for hits and try to execute a kill. So I feel like in this next round, Young Link is really gonna have to play it slow and really be very crafty with how they approach it.
And it looks like we're back at PS2, and I feel as if once again this snake, well, not snake, sorry, this stage, sorry, is more suited towards Snake. Yonli can do well here, and I'm not gonna say that it's not bad for him. It's just better for Snake because he is the better projectile game amongst these two characters. And overall, he's just kind of the better character anyway. Whereas I do commend Accelerate for working and getting this damage in, because he, quite frankly, is in the lead right now. But he does have to work a little bit harder than AV is right now, and it kind of shows in a sense, but at the same time, ooh, that was a nice RPG to the ground. At the same time, though,
AV really wanted to get off the forward smash in this situation. The third one he went for.
Accelerate's been pressuring AV up close for a really long time, and honestly, there's not much else you can kind of do when you can't really do much with your projectiles. Young Link, fortunately, has that disjoint option, but it's still a disjoint option that's more appropriate to his size, whereas him having a really lanky sword, you know? So, he does have to work hard for his kills. Snake kind of has it easier, but he still does have to work, considering that Young Link is more slippery than usual characters, or most of the cast, per se. But, yeah, Accelerate's gonna have a hard time.
Oh yeah, but so far I feel like they're doing a lot better in this game in terms of the previous game. They are toning it down a little bit. They are taking it slow, and I do appreciate that Accelerate is trying their best to really close in that gap. And I love that he took that opportunity, that little small window to go in and just landed a couple hits here and there.
I feel as though Accelerate has gotten adjusted, a little bit more adjusted to the matchup. Figured out how to better handle Snake right now, and it, for the second stock seemed like it was gonna start off to be a runaway. He's got the percent lead right now. It's still pretty even, but it's just a showing that he's definitely learned from.
I will say though, Accelerate's been kind of using Snake's grenades against AV. Because as you saw earlier, Accelerate got a down air, and then on top of that, got the grenade hit, but it didn't hit Accelerate. Instead, it caught AV, and really that's just extra damage on AV, pushing AV closer to kill percent, and that's really tough to have that kind of situation go down. So I commend Accelerate for that, definitely utilizing environment and also like just the location of like where he decided to attack. And
Yeah, and like, can we say how like from the recent stock that Accelerate took off, they went down to the depths. A really bold move to take off that stock out of AV. Like, if that's not determination, I don't know what is. That could have gone wrong, so wrong, and he was able to execute that, and that was really good. And I feel that that was needed in order to make it this close right now to last stoppage.
I do agree. I agree. I like how he converts out of up B as well, Accelerate. he's really he pays attention to where the opponent's DIing and also just the timing of it as well to not miss a beat or allow them to air dodge per se. While it was a really small play, I do think it was really good.
But it looks like this is getting more towards XLR8's favor. We have AV here at 126%, and XLR8 has been pretty consistent as far as landing stocks off of AV at very high percentages. So we'll see if they can execute this stock and turns the tide around.
Right.
XLR8's really trying to push in to execute this stock here. Is be careful with that. Nikita makes it back in and immediately inputting a nair just to make sure that AV doesn't follow up with anything else. And AV at 155%. This is super dangerous for AV here. Again, another nair, and he has a bomb in place to force AV down back onto the stage here, but wasn't able to follow up appropriately.
See, the way he's been handling AV projectile play and just his play in general has been amazing, and that was a nice up air to clean up the
Right.
Super good cleanup. And this is an example of really shifting the game, like really adapting to your opponent and just turning the tides around. Because like you said, he started kind of using the bombs against Snake in a way. And like I said, I felt like that earlier stock that he took off really helped him out, especially executing that stock pretty early too. That really helped him a lot to gain the pace back of the game more in their favor. So really good stuff.
Wait, so are we going to be seeing a stage switch from AV? Could he actually be feeling comfortable enough to go for the switch? Because I know he has been playing, at least he did play Cloud in one set earlier. So it's still going to be Snake versus Young Link. Pokemon Stadium 2, or is there going to be a...
I feel like it's still a safe option, just to stick the same characters. But they both have kind of the same dynamic as far as projectile play, and I feel like if either of them were to shift to a different character, it would kind of not only disrupt the flow, but I feel like the person that changed would probably have a more difficult time, in my opinion.
Something to notice, we noticed he's gone to... Smashville. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, Smashville is an interesting stage. I feel like Snake, though, is pretty strong in this stage, and he catches him at the ledger with up tilt. That's an unfortunate first stock there. But Smashville, I feel like it's a pretty strong stage for Snake, especially for that middle platform there, and I believe his up tilt can put people off that middle platform as well, too, so XLR8 is going to be very careful. Not to mention that platform is notorious for players to shark other players on that platform, so it can become very dangerous.
Alright, I see we're on Smashville is the name of this. This stage actually could be, I think it's even here for sure. But at the same time, it still could be advantageous towards Snake. But the fact that it's more smaller and more compact than, say, PS2, it gives Young Link, sorry. It gives him a better advantage for his projectiles to be more used here because it's more compact, and the boomerang, like you just saw, is able to interrupt Snake more so than usual. And even fire arrows, it's more likely to connect more so than PS2 because there's more range on PS2 as well. But at the same time, Snake can just bombard the field with a lot of explosions, and that's kind of a really bad thing on very small stages, considering that there's little space to work with unless you're a really fast character or you're really patient. So
yeah, and I do agree, because I feel like that lack of space is actually putting XLR8 in a tough situation here. From last game, XLR8 was able to kind of use the strengths of the stage and also the size of the stage to keep safe from AV, but I feel like AV is a bit more frontal, I guess is the best word I could think of. Like they're just very uh very close to Accelerate compared to last game, and that's really dangerous. You know, Young Link wants to have an adequate enough distance because I feel like any option that Young Link does throw out, AV just capitalizes on it, and AV can quickly because of that lack of distance.
Right. And I think another thing to add is Young Link likes to finish off his stocks, or the stocks of his enemies rather, with a smash attack or a really good like up close confirm, just like you saw him finish off AV with that neutral layer. And at the same time, Snake can do the same thing, just like you saw it once again. But Snake also has the option of killing you from further away. And I know I said this before, but Snake just has more variety in terms of killing. He doesn't have to kill up close, but if there's nothing set already, he's gonna just run in either smash attack or tilt or do what he has to do, and then kind of just leave, or that's game. But you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But it looks like it's getting pretty close here. Both players are down to their last stocks here. Snake at 57%, Young Link here at 47%, and it looks like Accelerate. Ooh, that could have been a really bad situation
Oh yeah.
for Accelerate there, facing the wrong direction. But
Just
it's
get a
okay.
knockout situation and turn it into a really good situation. He's getting
Oh yeah.
a lot of damage off of AV right now.
Right. And you'd think it'd be the other way around, but no. Accelerate's really going crazy right now.
I love that bold down air that Accelerate did execute though. But unfortunately, I feel like they were trying to anticipate a landing to punish on that, but it doesn't matter. They still land that nair. AV is getting kind of shook over here, I feel.
Right. I like, there's a certain interaction that just happened where Accelerate went for the down air, but AV threw the up tilt instead, and that's a really good condition that he did earlier, and that kind of led to what just happened again, because Accelerate, normally down air, when you're landing with it, it hits first if your opponent throws out like a wrong option, but Snake's up tilt is really, really good, and he just manages to kick his hitbox more so than his hurtbox, I think I said that right? But yeah, he managed to clip him and just send him to the top.
Yeah, that was definitely very unfortunate for Accelerate there. But up tilt is such a notorious move on Snake. Like, it has history, especially back in Brawl days. That Brawl days was crazy. You know, they definitely fixed the hitbox on that. I can't imagine Brawl hitbox on this game. That'd be pretty insane. But yeah, like, you know, really great stuff from AV. I feel like what really helped AV though in that game was definitely Snake's weight in that situation, because there were a few interactions with Accelerate where if it was any other character that could have been a for sure stock, but I really feel that weight kind of played a good factor in how the ending of that game went.
And I think this is game 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so game 4 on Kalos. Sorry for Young Link, honestly. He's not going to be killing Snake anytime soon. It's tough because, man, I mean, he definitely can. He just has to, I feel, work even harder, in a sense, to just get him closer to the blast zone and just launch him with a really strong attack.
And let's see, and already they're doing the keep away game. They have plenty of room on this stage here, so definitely Accelerate is using the distance to their advantage here. But I feel like we're gonna see a bit of how we saw towards games 1 and 2. Just that kind of play style, but it looks like Accelerate definitely getting a little bit more creative with how they're approaching in, trying to add in a bit more pressure with their approaches to force AV in a more defensive position to try to punish, and it's kind of working out for him now. Already AV's at 102% here, and Accelerate just keeping up that projectile pressure and actually keeping mindful of any unexpected projectiles like that Nikita that was thrown out. So, you know, definitely definitely avoiding those options is going to be key for Accelerate to really rack up that damage and get kills.
And yeah, like I said, actually no, I'm not gonna continue on wave flame, but I do like this item play that's been going on, where now it was looking one-sided, but it's looking a bit more even as we progress through the match. And honestly, like it's really amazing to see like the strengths of both Snake's and Young Link's projectiles. This the thing is, Young Link can combo out, or combo more so into, into his own projectiles, where he can bring people back with the boomerang, he can set up a bomb for a certain play, he can use the fire arrow to add more damage before going in for a kill. And then there's Snake, who, you know, he can kill you with his projectiles if he wanted to, but he can still combo into them, just not in the same way that Young Link would. And also, if I may add, it was kind of unfortunate that AV dropped a shield there on that up B from Young Link, but there is shield pressure being done to accelerate right there, and if that keeps up, then we might just see a shield break.
Well, yeah, shield breaks have been pretty surprisingly common through this whole tournament, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Definitely, for sure. And I wouldn't put it past Snake to be the one to shield break either, because he definitely has the firepower, and he also has the tilt to do so, per se. I think I've seen up tilts. I think I've seen up tilt break shield before. And then there's also this one crazy Twitter shield break that happened before, but I mean, who's really going to come to a tournament to do a Twitter combo? But then again, you'd have to be pretty insane to do so.
Oh yeah. Alright, but it is getting pretty even here. Both players at 1 stock each, which is pretty insane actually. And I love how AV tried to pressure Accelerate with that Nikita, and Accelerate calmly avoided, especially with how AV was trying to twist it around too. But I love how Accelerate calmly avoided that situation that could have been a really bad outcome had they been hit. But I feel that they really have to get away from that ledge there, because Snake in general is just really strong at ledge. And I have noticed in a lot of situations from Accelerate, when they are at ledge, AV just kind of dominates that kind of interaction. So I feel that keeping away from ledge, how Accelerate is doing, which they actually are doing a good job keeping center stage. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Was that a short hop up air?
It's either a short or up air, or it was up tilt. I'm not sure.
It was